Oh, she's here. Okay.
I had some kids downstairs ask if I was the speaker up here, so I think there might be more coming.
Okay. Our speaker that in the business management area is Jo Khalifa, and I'm going to have you come stand over here because we're recording.
Oh, are you? Okay.
And so she will talk about her business as a coffee roaster.
Yep.
And give you some information about managing a business of your own.
Is this it then, Amy?
There might be a couple more, but go ahead and get started.
Do you want me to get started? Okay. Well, I actually do have a French press coming. There's going to be a couple more people coming into the classroom, so then I can show what the French press actually looks like. Like Amy said, I'm Jo Khalifa, and I have MoJo Roast Coffee outside of West Hope, huh?
So Jo Khalifa?
Mm-hmm. These guys, they caught me at the door. I started my business, I incorporated it in May of 2005, and this wasn't really the trail I was on in life back then. We went through kind of a hard time with one of our daughters. She had a really bad bone cancer, and we had to go get her well, and I was working on a psychology degree. And when we came back to North Dakota, I really just wanted a coffee shop. All I could picture myself doing was sitting in a corner of a room on a comfortable chair with a big cup of coffee, just vegging. I really didn't want to do very much with my life back at that time, except for have a coffee shop. My problem was I couldn't find what I thought was really good coffee. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have this, it better be, you know, coffee shop, coffee. Well, you better have a good thing. So on my journey of trying to find really good coffee, my husband had suggested that I try roasting my own. And I said, normal people don't do that. Mo, and there is a Mo. I'm Jo, he's Mo, and that's where the MoJo came from. But yeah. So, you know, I just kind of put that aside and kept looking and had a place that I thought I was going to open for this coffee shop. And then a couple months later, I said, well, I'm having a really difficult time finding something that I think is going to be wonderful. And if I have a coffee shop and it says coffee on it, I better have good coffee. And he suggested that again. And I wasn't really receptive. But then I started doing a little bit of research. I thought, what kind of pod does that bean grow in? And, well, here comes my posse. Thank you. And so I'm thinking, what kind of pod does this grow in? Where does it grow? What does it look like? And my research started then. Obviously, I did not start a coffee shop. I started a coffee roasting business. It really intrigued me, all of the chemistry and the changes that go along with coffee. I found out it's a member of the evergreen family. It's actually the seed of a cherry. Coffee grows in a 2,000-mile stretch along the equator between the tropics of Cancer and Capricorn called the Bean Belt. So I thought, well, this is really fascinating. How many people in this world, and this country alone, know nothing about coffee? It's the second largest traded commodity in the world, right under oil. I was so fascinated at a beverage that we take it for granted. We take advantage of it, and we don't know the quality issues. So when I started this business, I monkeyed around in a cast iron frying pan in 2001. And then in May of 2005, I thought, you know, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I found what I really love to do, and I did it well. And I think it's really important if you guys are going to go out. Some of you obviously look like athletes in here. You're going to have to market yourself. How are you going to do that? You need to Facebook, yeah, I'm there too. But whether you're an athlete or you start a business of your own, you accidentally stumble upon it. My point is, I had not even a thought that this is what I was going to do in my life. And I was very receptive. And you're going to have to figure out, how are you going to make yourself stand out from the crowd? How are you going to align yourself with people in a similar field or make yourself special? And I found that out when I joined the Specialty Coffee Association of America back in 2005. I went to Seattle, Washington, and it was at their annual conference. And one of the ladies, she was the president of Dow Egbert Sara Lee's Coffee and Tea Division, huge global company. And one of the guys in the room, when she was done, we were all kind of standing around us little micro roasters. One of the guys says, well, how do we compete with a big business like you, with the big boys? And she said, you don't. You have to find your own niche. Well, I looked around that room and I saw head sink, shoulders slump, and I thought, oh, if there's a will, there's a way. There's got to be a way around this. So I came back to North Dakota with that thought in my mind, and I still think to this day about that group of people, how many of them gave up. Because in order to compete with those big boys, you have to be able to afford to buy thousands of dollars worth of brewing equipment. To say you go to the hotel or to the restaurateur and say, Mr. Restaurateur, hotel manager, you know, would you like to buy my coffee? That doesn't sell it, because the first thing out of their mouth is, do you provide the brewers? No, I can't go international or even in Minot and provide all of those brewers in that environment. So I had to find my niche, and I started thinking about it. I thought, man, you know, how am I going to do this? So I went to my first restaurant, and it's a Hollywood star from North Dakota has a restaurant and in Minot. And the first question out of her mouth, his manager's mouth, when I went down there was, do you provide the brewers? I said, no, but I have really good coffee. That didn't sell it. They just opened the restaurant. It was open for 2 months, and they could not afford the $250 to purchase the brewing equipment. So we visited a little bit more. She did agree that I had good coffee, and I said, do you mind if I come back and visit you in 2 months? Always, always, always give yourself an opening. Even if you feel like you're defeated, give yourself that in so that they're prepared for you to come back, because in whatever time frame you give yourself, you'll come up with something. So in my roastery, I always have coffee every morning in one of these. It's called a French press. Are any of you guys familiar with this? All guys in this class today, too. Yesterday there were some girls. They didn't know either, so don't feel bad.
Girls in Valley City.
Are there? Oh, hey, Valley City. I didn't even see you guys. Huh?
Three more sections, or two other sections.
Add me to the other section, please.
Okay, so this is a French press right here. It's an empty vessel, and it has a plunger system with a screen on it. Am I doing that?
Can you guys hear me nice, please?
I'm thinking I'm hitting something here. So what you do is you put your coarsely ground coffee in this, and then you fill it up with hot water and let it sit for about 3 minutes with the lid on it, like so. And after 3 or 4 minutes, it's done steeping, and you push this down, and it holds all of the coffee grounds down at the bottom of the pot. So you have freshly steeped coffee, you just pour it, and this is all really liquid gold. So I'm sitting there one day, my 2-month time frame is up, and I said, what am I going to do? And I'm pouring myself a cup of coffee. I'm like, oh, I got it. I found my niche. My niche wasn't only freshness and quality. The other day when I spoke in one of Amy's classes, a customer of mine ordered coffee here in Bottineau. She had her coffee less than an hour old. I got it off the roaster, and I brought it and delivered it right to her door. And nobody else in the world does what I do. If you want it dark, light, medium, however you want it roasted, if you want it ground a specific way, I do that. If you only need a certain amount for a certain period of time, I can do that. I'm a personal coffee roaster, so that's the first part of my niche. And